So I wanted to show a quick and easy way to pop your colors a bit more and add a soft glow to the skin without using third-party plugins or extra layers and all sorts of workarounds and stuff. I like to do everything on one layer using smart objects when possible. So first thing you need to do is make sure your image is a smart object, and if it's not already, just right click and convert to smart object. Then come up top and go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Now I'm going to set the radius at 25 because this is a fairly large image, but again, since I'm using smart objects, smart filters, I'm not worried about getting it right. I can come back and change it. And I'm going to hit OK. Now normally this is a point where people would have extra layers and change the blend mode of the layers and all that, but what we're going to do instead is change the blend mode of the filter itself. And to do that, we just come down to this icon where it says double click to edit filter blending options and double click on it. And here we change the blend mode. Now for this effect, we're usually going to go with overlay, sometimes soft light. Soft light's going to be a bit less intense depending on the look you want. And I'm using the up and down arrow keys to go back and forth. You may also want to just poke around and see if you like a different effect better. That's multiply. Maybe for the look you want, that's good. But I'm going to stick with overlay for now. And I think that's a little strong, so I'm going to take the opacity down to 75%. Say OK. And there we go, all in one layer. We've popped the color a bit more and softened the skin, and I think that's pretty good. Another one layer trick you can do is to apply that same Gaussian blur, but apply it to only part of the image and doing it all in one layer. So again, making sure your image is a smart object, we're going to go up to Filter. I'm going to use Gaussian blur like I said, so I'm just going to hit Control F and apply the last filter used and say OK. Now instead of duplicating the layer or creating another layer mask or whatever, we're going to use the layer mask that comes right with a smart filter. And click on the mask to select it. I'm going to hit B for the brush tool. Make it a little bigger. I'm going to use a soft brush for the first pass to show you what I mean. And then with black as your foreground color, just swoop through and there you go. All in one layer. I'm going to clear that mask for a second and show something else, because I know that a lot of people sometimes will make a selection and then they'll go to select and modify and feather and go back and forth while they guesstimate how much feather to add or how much not to add, and it's kind of destructive editing and a pain to go back and forth with and fix. So another thing you can do is, let's just say for example you used a hard edge brush. I'm going to come in and paint through again. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see that the edge is really harsh and that looks pretty cheesy and you don't want that. But the cool thing is, if you double click on the layer mask, it brings up the layer mask properties box, and in that box you have the option to feather. And you can adjust the feather and adjust your edge. I'm going to alt click on the layer mask so you can see what's happening. And this is what it looked like originally, and now we apply a feather and you can change it like that. The other thing that's cool about doing it this way is you can adjust the density of the mask, so you don't have to paint in shades of gray and go back and edit it later and try and make it lighter or darker or whatnot. You can just adjust the density, and that will do it too. Take the feather down so you can see this a little easier. So you can adjust both options, which is really cool. I'll get that feather up there. Go back to see the image. So that's another way to do a one layer wonder.